Hello, and welcome to round 3. I think it's Wednesday. Okay, so yesterday I had you look at corroborating some evidence, and you had 2 scenarios, right? So you had the Panthers and the Bears, and there was some vandalism going on, and you compared some testimony or witness or eye accounts to see to corroborate someone else's story. And a lot of it had to do with sourcing and whether or not the source was reliable or not. The second scenario was between a fight between Max and Justin, and then you had a third account of Jamie, I believe. So Jamie, I think, was Max's girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken. So, whoops. So today you're going to receive evidence from eyewitnesses and others connected to that fight in the lunchroom. And your job is to figure out who should get suspended for starting the fight. In order to figure that out, you're going to need to source, contextualize, and corroborate. In other words, you're going to need to read and compare multiple pieces of evidence in order to figure out which are more reliable and how they all fit together to fill out the story of what happened in the lunchroom that day. And then you can decide who you will suspend or not. Okay? So the substitute is going to hand out some roles. I can't remember how many, there are like 12 roles. And each has some testimony about what happened. And before you read it, and I'd love some volunteers for this, I want you to predict what each person might say. So for example, we have Justin and Max, and are they going to say the exact same thing? Probably not. But then there's someone out there called Eric, and it's Max's good friend. So what do you think he is going to say about the fight, that who started it? So then there's Anthony, a bystander, and then some others. So before those people read their role, I want you to predict what they're going to say and see if they can corroborate either Max or Justin's story or shed some new light on what actually happened. So let's see here. This is the skill called contextualizing or contextualization. So the role that context plays is painting a full picture of what happened and why. So this is where it's really hard to get rid of unreliable sources because you might throw away some critical contextual information. So you're going to find out some things from each source that might be helpful, but the source may be unreliable. So you can't just throw away you can only use just the trustworthy sources because there might be more information out there that you need to make a good judgment, okay? So even if you believe a source is mostly unreliable, it may still contain some useful information. All right, so here's where I'd like the sub to hand out roles to play. And again, before you sorry, distracted. Before you read your role, predict, you can like say who you are and then have the students predict what they may or may not say, okay? Afterwards, as a class, you're going to determine what you're going to do because basically you can be the role of the principal now. So after you've heard all the information, I want you to figure out what you would do as a class, and you'll have to agree. And this is where you can, discuss appropriately what should be done. All right? All right, I'll leave it up to you. If you get done with this, then you may or may not which is totally fine. If you get done with this, I would suggest that you finish what you've started with. Maybe if you haven't finished evaluating sources, or if you didn't finish the corroborating exercise from yesterday. Okay? All right. Email me if you have any questions at any time. Thanks.